that a fart?
Yes, definitely. Well, anyway, let's do it.
Welcome to Namely 90s. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. You can also find this show every Monday at youtube.com/@namely90s. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com and go to patreon.com/namely90s to listen and support and, overall just hang out. Hey, how's it going?
Good. And if you're hanging out there without us, let us know.
Yeah, that's true. It's an exclusive hangout. We're not on the list, as it turns out. Man.
Yeah. Not bad. How's it? I hear you're a bit tired.
Yeah, I feel a bit indigested too because I ate garbage, basically.
Oh.
I was traveling today from Sacramento to Spokane. Apparently today was the busiest day on record at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, which I had to fly through.
Why?
I don't know. Kickoff of the summer season, something like that. But that was the news article said that it was going to be. I don't know if it actually ended up being.
Kickoff of the summer season, so everyone's leaving Seattle.
But they managed to lose my bag. Well, okay, yeah. Not lose my bag. My first flight got delayed, so I got onto a later flight because I was going to miss my connecting flight.
Yes.
Well, I was going to miss the flight I was supposed to connect to.
Right.
And so they got me on the later one. Somehow still my bag didn't make it on. So I made it onto the 9 p.m. flight.
Wait, sorry. You missed the first flight.
So I booked a later flight.
So, and then your luggage didn't make it on to the later flight that you were booked on.
They had an hour from when I landed to when I took off.
Huh. That's
anyway,
not gone well.
But it was very busy, and they probably had a lot of bags, a lot of crews, and a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So apparently they're delivering it to my home tomorrow morning between 8 and 9.
It's always weird how they say they'll send it out for delivery. Like, who at the airport works in baggage delivery?
I think they actually use Uber now.
Why?
They contract with
so
rideshare. But they have contracts and stuff. It's probably cheaper. But I get to the baggage claim and I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, this is a lost bag for sure. And then sure enough, everyone got their bags and left. I just had a feeling.
Yeah.
And so I go to the baggage office, which was actually open. I've never seen anyone at the baggage office ever at any airport. Would you want to be there?
No, because that's where everyone just yells at you. I've seen them at SeaTac.
But they put them like in front of the glass inside so you can see if your bag is in there.
Right.
And I walk in, the lady's like, well, let's go see if it's in the back. And so she kind of walks into the back and I kind of meander in there after her and didn't see it. And then so she's like, well, give me your claim ticket and I'll go up front. And then the other guy who was there was like, sir, you need to come back up front. I'm like, but sir, you can't be back there. I was like, okay. Like I'm following her back to the front. Like she brought me back there. Like, and also you have both of the doors are just like propped open to the secured area. Mm-hmm. Like obviously you're not very security minded. It was just very weird.
This is how you get a Die Hard 2. Like,
yeah, exactly.
People just walking through the security doors.
So they didn't know my bag. And then they,
at least they found it.
But I will tell you one of my pet peeves, there was a guy in there with me and he was like, he found his bag and he was going out and he tried to open the door and like the secondary door was locked because it was real narrow. So it was like, it would make sense that you would come in one door and then go out the other. Cause it was like, there would be a line coming in the original door. Right. So you would go out the other door. It's locked.
They lose so many people's bags that they need to queue.
But the door is locked. And I'm like, there's something that drives me more nuts than a door that's always locked because it's no longer a door. It should just be a wall then. Like, obviously, if it's a security door, that's one thing. But if it's like you have a business and there are 2 doors to your lobby, and they're unobstructed, and one of them's just always locked, and it says, "Please use other door." That's not how doors are meant to be used. Fix the door. Unlock the door.
Yeah.
Also, fix your stupid moving walkway at SeaTac that's been broken for 4 weeks.
But it's just like the one section, right? It's not all 3 sections.
But the airport is like the 11th busiest in the country, and it takes them over a month to get a freaking flattened escalator fixed. I mean, come on.
You know,
I've been traveling a lot.
The last time I was in the A concourse, that like the second one was broken.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they fixed it since.
Yeah.
That was like
is run down. Even the new parts are run down.
There's new parts.
Well, the end gates are brand new.
Oh, that's true.
A gates are the newer one, and it's just been trashed. It's because people who fly are. By the way, I walked into the airplane today. The new airplane, 2 years old.
Yes.
Not bad. I looked it up. It smelled like hot garbage in there when we walked in. I was like, what happened in here? There was straw on the ground and like pig feces. It was coming from Sacramento. So
your cousin Carl over in the corner.
Yeah. Anyway, that marks the end of the namely ranting about airlines segment.
Oh, I could have got a little bit in.
Go for it. There's still time.
Last time I flew, when I was in first class. It's quite cheap to upgrade.
Yeah, for that flight.
Given the price of tickets anyway. So it's just like I sat down, put my iPad or maybe it was my Switch into the seat back in front of me, and I was just like, that's odd. It's not going all the way in, and there's just like a pile of garbage in the back of the seat. And I'm like, I get it. Like, maybe not in the economy, you don't check every single seat back every single time. But in first class,
there's like a dirty diaper in there.
A used vomit bag. I was like, come the F on.
It's bad. It's just air travel in general. It's not glamorous.
I mean, the turnaround time on those flights, though, are like 15 minutes.
I gotta say, it's because they're always late. I gotta say, the thing about Alaska Airlines is like, all right, I'm flying Alaska. Mm-hmm. I made a conscious decision not to charge my phone because they don't have like a lot of outlets at Sacramento, and my phone was dying. But I was like, well, it's Alaska. And I even went on Seat Guru and looked it up and made sure all the seats had power.
Yeah.
They weren't working when I got on the plane. This is a 2-year-old plane. Would not charge my phone. I'm like, really?
Aren't you supposed to unplug when you take off? Does that have anything to do with?
I did. And then I plugged it in when they said, in-seat power is now activated. And I called bullcrap on that.
Did you notify your flight attendant?
No. Well, like last time they were like, the Wi-Fi is not working. Like someone has brought it to our attention, the Wi-Fi is not working. And then they came back on the intercom like 5 minutes later and they were like, this plane is so new, it doesn't have Wi-Fi yet. I was like, oh, good. Does it have landing gear? Like, what the this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my take on air travel. And what's the deal with airline food?
Jerry Seinfeld.
A bad Jerry Seinfeld. Was that Jerry Lewis?
I was going to say it wasn't too bad. Yeah. I also, since we still have a little bit of time, in internet news, the big thing this week was Smosh was sold back to Ian and Anthony, and Andrew has no idea who the F those people are.
No.
But
I vaguely read something about this, like a headline, but I don't know what that is. Or who that is.
It went out to Variety. Variety posted about this. But Ian and Anthony, they're one of the original YouTubers on the channel Smosh. Anthony left like 6 or 7 years ago because he, I don't know, had a falling out or was tired, or they made like
drama.
They made YouTube videos like for 12 years straight. More than weekly. They turned it into a company, and then they sold themselves to Defy Media, which went under and
sold themselves. I like how you put that.
Yes, pretty much. Well, because they didn't know how to run a company at the time. They're just like, F it, let's let someone else manage it. So they did, and then they sold it for stock shares, but the company went under before they went public.
Oh, no.
And then I think Anthony left right before that happened.
So you know their company's about to go under? Okay. That's a bad pun.
What other companies?
The submarine company.
Oh, yeah. Ocean Gate.
Oh, no. Too soon? No, this comes out Monday. So
did you say you didn't want to talk about it because it's a bit glib?
I couldn't avoid that joke. Sorry.
Fair. Anyway, Ian stayed with the channel. They shopped it around. Rhett and Link bought it at Good Mythical Morning. People that you actually know.
Yeah.
And they've been making content. They've still been making content in Smosh, and now Anthony came back into Ian's life, and they're like, let's buy it and do it again. So the original internet best friends are back making content.
All right. Hey, so are we.
Yep.
Just not content that anyone desires or seeks out.
Well, all I'm saying is, had we had access to YouTube in those formative years, maybe we would be definitely less popular than them. But
I think to be on YouTube, you have to be kind of a total jackass to be successful on YouTube.
I think we could have figured out a balance between
I'm a total
Smosh
jackass.
and Good Mythical Morning. Anyway, we're not going to summon Furbdon this week. We're going to do
Furbdon deserves a vacation. He's on PTO.
Right. We're going to do a new segment that I've titled 90s News You Can Use.
I like it.
Yeah.
We need a graphic.
I may have ripped that off from G4, but G4's dead again. So
yeah, if you want to have the copyright on it, stop going under.
Yeah, stop letting Universal screw you over.
I just don't think if you can't stay a business, if you can't stay in business, your intellectual property just kind of, if you haven't actually coined it, you know what I mean? It's not yours anymore.
Yep.
That's not legally true.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
At all, but it shouldn't be yours.
That's why the former hosts of the new generation can't completely bite everything off of the shows they were on, but still kind of are. Anyway, I'm going to start off, and then I think you get the second one, or maybe you get to do the first one, and then I do the second one.
Sure.
You do the third one, and I'll do the fourth one.
Sure.
In your best newscaster voice.
Well, I was just going to say, first of all, we don't have Furbdon this week, but we do have a new Furby design. Hasbro announced on Tuesday that Furbies will be back on sale again for the first time since 2016, redesigned for Gen Alpha with a more squat stature and less creepy eyes. This model comes with 5 voice-activated modes: Dance Party, Copycat, Tell Me My Fortune, Let's Chill, and Light Show, with more than 600 responses for users to discover. Because who hasn't dreamed of dancing with a Furby and then chilling with it while watching Bluey on Netflix? Additionally, Furby responds to pats, hugs, belly rubs, and violent shaking. It can also be cared for by feeding it, combing their fur hawk, and styling them with clip-on beads and accessories. Those are these strap-on beads and accessories. The newest version of this interactive toy is now available to purchase on Amazon, and will later be available at all major retailers starting July 15th. And if you can tell me what major toy retailers are left, leave it in the comments on Instagram and YouTube at Namely90s.
Slightly concerning, you're clipping out. That's probably my internet. But next headline is Titan goes missing looking for Ick, or IC. Get it?
No, I don't get it.
Titanic.
Oh, right.
The media was abuzz last week looking for the Ocean Gate Expedition's Titan submersible after it went missing on Sunday the 18th on their way to see the Titanic wreckage 2.5 miles below the surface of the ocean. Early Thursday morning, a debris field was discovered and confirmed by the U.S. Coast Guard as consistent with the catastrophic loss of pressure in the Titan chamber. Ocean Gate released the following statement: "We now believe that our CEO, Stockton Rush, Shahzada Dawood, and his son, Suleiman Dawood, Hamish Harding, and Paul Henry Nargilette. Should have
Nargilette, sure. Nargilette.
Have sadly been lost. Oh yeah, he was the French one. Paul Henri Nargilette. And as a kid died on this expedition, we're going to refrain from jokes on this one, Andrew.
I do want to make a comment. I mean, the going under joke. I have to make a comment here, which is like, why is the whole world all of a sudden like experts on undersea expeditions at extreme depth? They're like, that's just crazy. Like, what do you know?
I think it was because James Cameron decided not to voice an opinion until after they found the debris field.
Probably some guy from the Travel Channel, Joshua Gates, like didn't go on an expedition with them, but he went on a lesser expedition and was like, "This is sketch. I'm not going to the Titanic with you." Boy, yeah. that's aging well. I'm just saying,
it sounds about right. Like people
the general
who have
public,
actually, yeah. Well,
I think it. Go ahead.
People during this whole thing, like the rich people that have been on this submersible previously have said, yeah, we would consistently lose communication while on this thing. There were like even to the lay people, there were problems that were obvious. And one of them even was quoted as saying, "I thought I was not going to survive my trip."
I just think what I've noticed about this whole thing, I've kind of been on the sidelines peripherally just seeing stuff, is that like, I kind of hate the general public. Like people are kind of okay with and kind of have a they deserved it attitude about them dying because they're rich. And I'm like, wow, that's how you look at human life. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know them.
No, I agree.
It doesn't end my world, but I don't know that I would just like take to social media and be like, these rich people, they deserve it. They had it coming. Like, wow, F you. You will get in a freaking submarine. We'll send you down.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's kind of gross.
It is. I agree. Like, there's some people that are just like, yeah, F them billionaires because they or like the Coast Guard was looking for them while that whole ship of refugees sank. And it was like, the two don't really compute. They were in Greenland. The other people were in the Mediterranean. There's different resources.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
weird. I understand the eat the rich or whatever, but
yeah, that's I don't know.
I guess I'll just leave you with this final thought. Where is and I tried to look up factual sources for this. So, but Billboard blocked me out of their streaming thing. You have to pay to be a part of that. My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion has received 7.8 million streams on Spotify and enters the Billboard Top 100 at number 12 after the submarine mishap this week.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
This is completely.
But the quote of the quote on the tweet is, "None of us are going to heaven."
Yeah. This is totally random and unrelated, but it's just some statistic I read today. Uh-huh. Did you know that Ken Griffey Jr. is the third highest paid player on the Reds team this year? Because of his contract. I just thought that was great.
Is he? He's not.
He's not playing.
Coach, is he?
No. Near, far, wherever you are.
I can't actually hear you because my Siri just acted up again.
Okay, Siri. All right, moving on. The Flash stumbles in the box office, killing Batman. Batman. Wow. Manned? So I read the word beyond. Batman. Beyond.
Maybe I did accidentally switch us.
The Flash movie, which opened up 2 weeks ago, only netted $55 million in its first weekend domestically, and as of June 19th has only earned $135.7 million worldwide. It should have made $120 million opening weekend to be considered a success, said one industry veteran. Aside from the spoilers, movie killing off Michael Keaton's Batman, the failure in the box office may mean another rumored Batman flick was killed off in the process. Gosh. Seriously, could there be any more Batmans? Batman Beyond, Batman Infinity? They may as well at this point. Just go with Infinity. They haven't done that one yet, have they?
No, not yet. Okay. Sorry for putting you on the spot there.
During a recent episode of the Fat Man Beyond podcast, Kevin Smith claimed that the son of longtime Batman producer Michael Uslan said that the bar for Keaton's Batman to return in a future film based on Batman Beyond would be the Flash performing as well as the Batman, which made $130 million its opening weekend. The one with Rob Bat.
Yep.
Batman Beyond is a beloved 1999 sequel series to Batman the Animated Series and the New Batman Adventures, which sees an older version of Bruce Wayne mentoring a new Batman in a futuristic Gotham City. Of course, it's eventually revealed that the new Batman, Terry McGinnis, is actually Bruce Wayne's son genetically replicated via a government conspiracy. That sounds dumb. I mean, the government can't, like, they can't do anything right. I mean, they created TSA.
True.
Anyway, that they're capable of some complex conspiracy is just nonsense. Either way, there have been a lot of nerds clamoring for a Batman Beyond movie, but those dreams are now officially dead, especially with James Gunn taking over the DCU, or as I like to call it, the DICU, and starting relatively fresh with Blue Beetle coming out in August and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom closing out the DCEU this December.
There's a difference.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with this concept that like the Flash is somehow going to be an indicator of how well Batman can do. Because like Batman is in the zeitgeist like pretty strongly, more strongly than most Superman, Spider-Man. The Flash is kind of ancillary, it's not ranked. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not in the top 5.
They call it the Trinity: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
I feel like you put Batman on the name, people will see it.
Even Batman Beyond, though, people
are fatigued.
Yes. Well, the DC's putting out 4 movies this year. 4.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there you go. I didn't see it. Probably won't see it. I'm too busy.
I actually haven't seen it either. I was going to, but then I waited for the actual reviews, and apparently it's mid. Finally, Harrison Ford says it's okay to punch Nazis.
I mean,
yeah. In a recent press junket for the upcoming Indiana Jones movie, Harrison Ford responded to a journalist from Yahoo who asked how the ultimate Nazi puncher Indiana Jones would respond to the debate over punching Nazis in real life today. And Ford responded by saying he'd push them out of the way to get in the first punch. As well he should. This settles an almost 6-year internet debate over whether it's okay to punch Nazis, and I have to say I agree. So go out there and punch a Nazi in the face today. And do you want to discuss?
The problem is, like, how do you define a Nazi these days?
Someone that neo-Nazis generally, and they're the ones that go marching with the Nazi symbol.
Well, it should be pretty easy because they mostly wear red hats now. There you go.
And that's it for 90s news you can use. Go out there and touch grass or punch Nazis. But first,
let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to our mid-episode break, Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, we're looking back at the only 90s Indiana Jones property, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is a television series that ran for 2 seasons from 1992 to 1993. The series explores the childhood of Indiana Jones, who apparently met a ton of historical figures and even fought in the First World War on the side of the Belgians. The show was designed as an educational program for kids, teens, and would generally start each episode with an elderly Indiana Jones in 1993's New York City, encountering a random person who would remind him of a past event from his youth, and then he'd start telling the story of that adventure. It would either flash back to him as a young boy from ages 8 to 10, or him as a teenager or young adult aged 16 to 21, played by Powder. The child Indy would travel around the world with his father and tutor, while the teen Indy rebelled against his father and joined the Belgian army using a fake name and fought at Verdun as well as in Africa, later becoming a spy. Initially, they planned to switch off between child and teen stories, but the teenage Indy eventually dominated the adventures. The show also revealed that the elderly Jones has a daughter, granddaughter, and great-grandchildren, but no mention of his son, the guy from the Dear Sister SNL sketch. During his adventures, he went on safari with Theodore Roosevelt, met Norman Rockwell, T.E. Lawrence, Leo Leo Tolstoy, Winston Churchill, Ernest Hemingway, Al Capone, Picasso, and George Patton, among others. The list of guest stars include Catherine Zeta-Jones, Daniel Craig, Christopher Lee, Clark Gregg, Vanessa Redgrave, Elizabeth Hurley, Anne Heche, Jeffrey Wright, Kevin McNally, Ian McDermott, John Pertwee, Sean Pertwee, Paul Freeman, William Hootkins, Anthony Daniels, and Keith David, among others. Oh, wait, sorry. That's Velma Kelly from Chicago, James Bond number 6, Count Dooku, Agent Coulson, Mary Queen of Scots, Vanessa Kensington from Austin Powers International Man of Mystery, Marion Crane from the Psycho remake, Felix Leiter number 7, Gibbs from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Emperor Palpatine, Doctor Who number 3, his son TV Alfred number 3, Renee Belloc, Porkins from Star Wars, C-3PO, and the President from Rick and Morty. Also, Han Solo shows up to play a 50-year-old Indy with a beard because he was filming The Fugitive at the time. The series was canceled after one season, but then produced 4 made-for-TV movies in an attempt to continue the series. And finally, in 1999, the series was re-edited into 22 TV films called The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. And that's the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles in a Namely 90s minute. More or less.
And now, back to the show.
Now it's time for our monthly Quotely 90s from our friends at the
Inanely Dangerous.
Not what I said, not where I was going. I just tripped over my words. The Insanely Dangerous Retro Podshow, Gaz and Dange. Let's let them play
Here comes
themselves
that copyright
in.
strike.
Too loud?
No.
No. I don't think this is the copyright strike.
Oh yeah, I don't think it is.
No, it was on the song we did for our studio.
Hey there, Brandon and Andrew. It's Gaz and Dange from TIDRP, your brother horseman in this retro apocalypse.
Today we have a little quiz for you, a memory game if you will, that Gaz has lazily named Quotely 90s.
This week we're sending you a quote and see if you can guess its origins from some piece of pop culture from the 90s.
Just remember, our worlds weren't as interconnected then as we lived across the pond and the internet still ran on coal.
We'll also, because we're copying you, do multiple readings and either do a poor imitation of the character/person who said it, or poor imitations of whoever we feel like.
And if you're lucky, you'll hear me slip into my terribly offensive English accent.
Is that enough of a setup for you lads? Are you ready for Quotely 90s?
Name the TV show and if possible the character that said this. Bonus points for the actor.
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
Yo, I did
voice.
see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me. I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it.
I think
You have to tell me what it was.
the rip-off Sonic music in the
but it's
background.
gone! They took it from me! They erased it! You have to tell me what it was!
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
I did see something, but it's gone. They took it from me. They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
can't tell
Well,
if they're now just like pranking us with the length of the impressions.
I get a sci-fi vibe, like an alien thing, maybe like they erase your memory after they abduct you and prod you.
Oh, like Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black could be. Did they say movie or TV show?
I do not remember. Should we go back and listen?
We should go back and listen.
Okay.
Being you, do multiple readings and either do a poor imitation of the character / person who said it, or poor imitations of whoever we feel like.
And if you're lucky,
The music.
you'll hear me slip into my terribly offensive English accent.
It is.
Is that enough of a setup for you lads? Are you ready for Quotely 90s?
Name the TV show, and if possible, the character that said this. Bonus points.
Good catch.
I mean, X-Files has to be on the list.
They took it from me.
Because often memory loss is like common with alien abduction scenarios.
So, like the first episode of the X-Files where they do the time.
Maybe not the very first. I already forgot what the quote is. They took it from me. You have to tell me what happened.
They erased it. You have to tell me what it was.
You have to tell me what it was.
I did see something, but it's gone. He took it from me.
I mean, so the X-Files is kind of like an obvious answer, but like, what else is there in the 90s?
I'm just gonna. I can't concentrate with the music in the background.
That's fine. I'm okay with you turning it off.
No. I mean, like, I can't when they're saying it. I can't concentrate. When we do ours, I cut it off for us to do the
They usually do, actually.
Though they did. They haven't in the last two. So if you're listening, Gaz and or Dange, can you mostly Dange, can you ask Gaz to stop leaving the audio track going?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to say the X-Files, but I don't know. That's such an obvious answer, and they haven't given us a softball ever.
True,
well,
but especially the TV show, and usually it's pertaining to what they're talking about. Which why do I feel like they've done the X-Files before?
It's very much feels alien abduction-y to me, but I could be so off base too. Like, when else would someone erase it?
Maybe they're doing the Indiana Jones Chronicles too. What?
But what character would have said it in the 90s?
That's true. In the 90s.
I mean, possibly Dana Scully. No, it's Quotely 90s.
Yeah, but maybe they changed it up in the beginning.
She does get abducted.
And they took the baby from her.
But that's after, I think that was in the 2000s.
I mean, that's fair.
But it could be a different character, like more of a supportive role. Supportive role.
I thought the baby was by end of season 5.
Okay, maybe. They raised it. They took it from gosh.
6 or 7.
Yeah, I mean, a safe guess would be X-Files, Gillian Anderson, but that could be just way off.
The TV series they took, and plus they have like a slew of British TV shows that we've never seen.
Yeah,
from the 90s. Like, all I have is Red Dwarf, Blackadder. End of list.
Yeah, and is that a show or okay? Do you have any ideas?
No, well, my idea was movie based, so no, I have nothing. You're gonna go
do X-Files, Gillian Anderson.
Okay.
Wait.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best I can come up with.
I mean, if it's a TV show, it's got to be like a prominent episode or a prominent quote that people quote a lot, right?
Yeah,
well, to be fair, I give them the constraint of, hey, can you on this week do a Quotely for us? And like not planning out what they're doing ahead of time or like working with them. So it could just be some random 80s show.
I mean, that's my final answer, but I very well understand that I'm
He-Man
probably wrong.
The last time it was a TV show. Yeah, no, I will stick with you. Let's play the answer. We at least got one right.
Yeah, true.
That was my pointer finger. Nope, wrong one.
Indeed.
It's time to break out the tape and get ready for some deep throat.
I did see something.
Dang it, I
Yes.
almost changed it to David Duchovny. I
It's
almost
gone.
changed it.
They took it from me. They
Oh, I
erased
almost changed it last minute. That's when I said, oh, wait.
it. You have to tell me what it was.
That
Was
was a
said by
softball.
David Duchovny as Fox Mulder in the sci-fi
Yes.
phenomenon The
At least I got-
X-Files.
Show.
The cultural impact of The X-Files sent shockwaves through show business, society, and of course, science fiction that is still felt today, inspiring future shows, changing the English language, and even society.
And if you want to listen to two idiots talk about one of the biggest shows ever from the 90s, then tune in July when we do and drop our X-Files episode. Keep your ears and eyes peeled.
Find out your platform of choice at the Insanely Dangerous Retro Podshow. Now, let's throw it back over to those female body inspectors, Dr. Dana Schwitter and Spooky Andrew.
Why am I Scully?
I really, right at the very end of that discussion, when I kind of paused and said, wait, maybe, and then stopped myself, I almost changed my answer to David Duchovny. I would have got the bonus point. However, I freaking got one right finally.
I didn't voice it, but the entire time I thought if it was X-Files, I thought it was Mulder.
Why did I not say it? Well, they both were abducted.
Yes.
And I felt like Mulder wouldn't need someone to tell him what happened. Like he would already know, whereas Scully would be need an explanation.
That must have been something to do with his sister, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got it right. Finally, I got one right.
Well done.
God, thank you.
Thank you for the softball, boys.
Yeah.
And if you like your retro with an equal helping of 80s to wash down the 90s, check out the Insanely Dangerous Retro Podshow on your platform of choice and follow up with those wascally rabbits on, that's supposed to be wabbits, on this Thursday's episode. You'll even get to catch us delivering a quality 90s to Gaz and Dange, sometimes relevant to our next episode.
Those wascally rabbits.
Yes, those wascally rabbits. And look out for their X-Files episode coming in July. We'll obviously, usually we retweet on the Twitters to let you know when that's happening. Anything else for this week, Andrew?
I don't think so. I'm pumped, man. It was a softball, but I actually got something right.
It's a jam. Yeah, no, that was well done. Sorry, I wasn't trying to take that away from you. It just, they know you're an avid fan.
Yeah.
And I look forward to listening to that episode. So I guess that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. We're going to find new episodes out every Monday. Join us again next week for a deep dive episode on what?
He doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know yet. Find us on Instagram at Namely90s with 90s and find our personal accounts on Twitter. I think if that still exists, honestly, after this week, I am completely done. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/namely90s, also the 90s. And finally, you can contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Titanic, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
The truth is out there.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.